All right, we are live on YouTube, and I am just waiting for the video to connect on my other monitor over here so that I can grab that link and put it inside of our free business mastermind group so that our members can join us right here on the YouTube live easily and conveniently. And it looks like that link is ready, so let me grab it. All right. Well, okay, there it goes. Let me get that. Let me put it inside of our group. All right. So now that it's posting and cycling through, let me go and make sure that I can see the live chat over here on the YouTube so that those of you that are here watching us live and want to talk back to us, engage with us, I can see it and engage back with you. All right. Cool. Let's get started. All right. Do you ever feel like you're always working on projects in your business, but somehow never complete them? What would your bank account look like if every great business idea you had actually got finished? Today, we're answering the question, what do I need to know to actually have more forward motion to complete projects in my business for growth? So, we're going to talk about project execution management for profit. And it's coming from this week's blog, Project to Profit, Key Elements of Executing Projects for Solopreneurs. Okay. If you want to follow along with the blog portion, please go to shaycannon.com/projects with an S. Uh, Drop that over here on YouTube too. So that's shaycannon.com/projects. All right. Again, this week is the last week that we are using blog posts for our morning show, as next week we end the morning show with live coaching. So when I thought about the gap and what I wanted to show you guys and teach you guys and share with you, so that it is of high value to you when you go back on past episodes of the morning show as a resource to grow your business and make it more profitable, I realized that one of the things I am a beast at, I had not shared with you, and that is project management, coordination, execution. Okay. And I'm not talking about certified project managers or scrum masters or agile organization. I'm just talking about you, as most likely a solopreneur, having projects in your business and needing to know how to execute these projects to get them done, towards a goal, to get them done to get to the money. Okay. So on Monday, we talked about part one, and that was I broke down for you what is the life cycle of a project. Like, what are the usual phases of projects, especially for us service based entrepreneurs? Okay, so if you need to know more about what that is, why it's important to know, and what those actual cycles are, then you need to go back to part one to get that information. Okay. On yesterday, we did part two. And we talked about PMS. And no, I'm not talking about lady parts and lady problems, okay? I'm talking about project management systems, because you need to be creating a hub where everything related to your project lives, okay? Everybody could go to one central platform to locate, access anything having to do with a project. So we talked about that. I gave you the elements or the features that you need in your project management system. Then I came back and gave you 10 strategies to help you to use your project management system more effectively. Okay. So that was part two. If you need to know about that stuff, go back to that. All right. Today we're on part three. And we're talking about the actual managing of the project, the actual get in there and executing the project. Okay. So we know what the cycle and the phases are. We've set it up in a project management system. Now it's time to work this project. What do you need to know? All right. Well, let's get into it. Execution management is what I'm calling it. So managing the execution of projects is where plans stop being ideas and start becoming your income. For most, the challenge isn't dreaming big or mapping the vision. It's crossing the finish line. Let me stop right there and tell y'all something about y'all. Let me tell y'all something about y'all. Okay. What I know about most of y'all is you don't have a problem bullet pointing what you think something is going to do, what you want it to do, what you want to do when it's successful, the things you may need, all of these things. You don't have no problem mapping out that part. But getting to the finish line of execution is what stumbles some of y'all. And that's why today is important. Okay. Now, let me get back to the blog. Execution management focuses on maintaining forward motion, accountability, and focus until results are realized. It's the operational muscle that ensures goals don't stay trapped on paper while your bills and your deadlines keep coming. All right. When a business masters this phase, this execution of projects, it shifts from being reactive to being reliably productive. Each project completed becomes a tangible asset that moves the business closer to profit. By learning how to execute consistently, you as a solopreneur can turn scattered effort into measurable momentum that drives growth and financial stability. Okay. I really believe that one of the key reasons that some of you guys are not hitting your revenue goals is because you don't know how to execute your projects. You don't know how to work in your business and on your business. And therefore, something is always suffering, which means you can't really move forward too much, right? So that's probably why you're struggling to hit your first six figures or six figures and beyond. Okay. Now, that was the blog. Let's go into the strategies that I have for you today in my show notes. All right, here we go. So these are the top or 10 top strategies to execute projects effectively for your profit. All right. Number one, this is Dr. Ferris said, who's she telling? Who I'm talking about, Dr. Ferris? All of y'all, both of them, all of them. Okay. So strategy number one, always add a deadline to every task. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. This is within the phase that you are on. I understand that, your project may have different phases, and you working on this phase is going to impact how, when you get to the other phases. So when I say every task needs a deadline, I'm talking about within the phase that you are working on. Okay. So keep that in mind. It's very hard to put a deadline on all tasks within all phases. So that's not what I'm talking about, even though you've learned you should have a preliminary timeline though. Okay. But for the individual tasks within your phases of your projects, when you are on that phase, every task needs a deadline. Because let me tell you what you're doing. You putting the task down, and that's half the battle. At least you're putting the task down, okay? But you haven't put on their deadline. So where's the accountability? Where's going to be the sense of urgency that gets you across the finish line of actually completing those tasks? Okay, you need a deadline. So every task without a deadline becomes optional in your mind. A firm deadline creates urgency, structure, and accountability. All right, cool beans. Let's go to number two. Define energy-based work blocks. Now, this is especially important for solopreneurs, where every task is your task. Okay. You need to be aware of your energy levels when you're best at doing what, so that your time blocks for executing certain categories of tasks are done when you are your best for that type of task. Okay. So instead of managing time alone, structure your work around peak energy periods. Matching execution to your natural rhythm increases output without burnout. Okay. Let me give you some examples. I am more creative when I am well rested. Okay. I am more strategic when I am well rested. So guess when I need to do those type of tasks? I need to do them in the mornings. Okay. When I first wake up. Now, things that don't take much energy from me, it just takes me clicking, doing stuff, right? I can do that later in the afternoon when I'm tired. Dr. Tachi and Shawana can tell you I was doing that late yesterday. Okay. I was just clicking stuff. The creative part and the strategic part was already done. I'm just clicking and getting the actual little menial task done to make it done. But the creative part was already done when I was well rested. But last night, though, your girl was not well rested. Okay. But I had to get it done. And so know your energy levels, know which tasks take what kind of you, and then put it in the best time block for that version of you. All right. Number three, create a finish to profit checklist. All right. Before declaring a project or a phase even is finished, confirm that every deliverable directly contributing to revenue, retention, visibility, those top 3 things, okay, have been done. All right. So this frames done from being a check the box, oh, the task is done, to something tangible happening because the task is done. All right. So I want you to keep that in mind. This is going to be especially important for you to learn while you're working with just yourself, because when you start to hire out team members, you're not going to be able to afford for them to just check a box to say they're done. You're going to have to understand that they need to understand what does finished look like to get you to the money. Okay. I don't want you to just say that you wrote the email. I want you to write an email that's going to convert for the call to action we got in there. There's a difference. Okay. So start with you, and then when you start hiring people, it's going to be even more important with them. Or that's when you're going to feel like, you paying out money for a team, but you're not getting the results that you need. But you can't pinpoint what's wrong because they're doing what you told them to do, right? So keep that in mind. All right. I think I've been fussing a little bit this morning, but it's important. All right. Number 4, install a project feedback loop. Okay. Integrate reflection checkpoints. Now, when you are doing this by yourself, you still need to reflect on what's working and what's not working. Okay. So even if the feedback loop is you checking in with how it's going and documenting it, that's fine. Again, get used to it, because when you start adding clients, you start adding team members, you still need feedback to perfect things to make it better. Okay. So it needs to be a part of it. So integrate reflection checkpoints mid execution. Don't wait to the end to assess alignment with the goals, the capacity, and the expectations of what these tasks, this phase, this project is supposed to do. This prevents wasted time on misaligned work. Okay, cool beans. And again, this is a feedback loop while you're in the project, not just after. Number 5, use priority phasing instead of task lists. Okay, so group tasks into priority phases rather than endless task lists. This helps visualize what must be completed first to maintain progress and profit. See, sometimes it's not always evident what tasks you should do first, because in the task list where this task depends on this task, depends on this task, it's quite obvious which one needs to go first and which one needs to go next. But when you just have arbitrary list of things that need to get done and they're not necessarily directly connected to each other, they're all kind of looking like the same important, you need to prioritize those so that you as a solopreneur with limited time get done and executed the tasks that matter the most. So if you run out of time, run out of energy, run out of whatever, you've started with priority stuff and gotten them done. So it is important that you prioritize. Okay. Number 6, enforce communication boundaries as policy. I'm going to bring this up at every end that communication policies are important, okay? Because you need to establish boundaries early about response times, about revision limits, about communication channels and platforms. All of that needs to be clear before you start. Don't wait till you start, and then when somebody does something, then you tell them that's not how you want it done, or that's the wrong way to communicate. It's too late. You should have made that boundary ahead of time. Now, whoever it is going to feel like, you're a little moody, right? You didn't really have the right to change that because you never set one. So whichever one was convenient for me should be fine because you never set a standard, right? Set your standards, clear boundaries, protect execution flow and your mental bandwidth, all right? Number 7, implement automated accountability. For yourself, yes, as a solopreneur, you still need it. We talked about deadlines. We're going to talk about a few other things. But also, when you have a team, when you have clients in your project management systems, in your projects as a part of how it moves forward, you still need accountability, and some of that stuff needs to be automated. So use automation to trigger reminders, approvals, updates, anything that needs to happen to move forward, right? Yesterday, I had a team meeting with one of my clients, and I talked to them about owning tasks in our projects, right? Don't just check this off, or don't just say, I'm waiting on something from somebody, but we don't know that you're waiting on until we ask about the task. Own the task, right? And then one of the team members asked a question. They said, what if I've continuously asked them? I didn't just ask them one time. I'm owning the task, but I'm having to ask them multiple times and they have not gotten back with me, so I'm stalled. Right? So I gave him a communication protocol for escalation. I said, this is what I want you to do. Day one, I want you to ask in the morning, I want you to ask in the afternoon, and I want you to ask again end of day before you log out. Day two, I want you to ask in the morning, I want you to ask in the afternoon, and by end of day, I want you to tell them that that part of the project is stalled because they have not gotten back with you, and I want you to tag your leader. Okay? So even escalations are a part of communication protocol, so keep that in mind. Number 7, oh, that was implement automated accountability. I'm sorry. Number 8, limit daily open loops. Limit daily open loops. So I want you to restrict yourself to finishing what you start before adding new tasks. I want you to finish what you start before adding new tasks. Okay? Too many open projects create mental clutter. It slows momentum. And that's why you not getting nothing finished. Let me take you back to my favorite analogy. Okay? Because this is how you're losing momentum and makes you quit. Because you don't even see anything completed. So you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. Again, my favorite analogy and example is when you're cleaning your house. If you bounce from room to room doing little things, you don't see any progress. Therefore, you don't feel any momentum, and you probably are not going to finish cleaning your house that day. Okay? But if you focus on one room and clean that room until it is done to completion, that is momentum. You feel accomplished. Something got done. Okay? That's what I want you to do about your projects. When you start a task, finish that task. Okay? Don't just start hopping around doing tasks and then now you got a whole bunch of started tasks that are not completed. That is not the way to execute. Key. Okay? All right. Number 9, use visual progress markers to maintain momentum. I love a visual tracker. Okay, so visual trackers progress on your reports. It just turns it into this thing that's like, it's not in your head how far you've come, right? Or it even can be reassurance that how far behind you think you are not, right? So again, I gave you the example the other day of like the pizza delivery tracker where they show you where things are, right? So at the end of each day, when you have a project, I want you to then record where you are in the process so that when you come back the next day, you see that tracker and you're like, oh, okay, cool, that's where we are. You start working, end of day, move the tracker, okay? Track visual progress on your reports to turn invisible work into visual motivation. Progress bars, color coding, milestone trackers make success tangible, all right? Number 10, define the why behind each project, task, and phase. This is great when you're a solopreneur so that you can remember the importance of what you're doing, because sometimes some of the things we do, it feel like, why am I doing this part anyway? Let me just skip this part and get to that part. But it's important in the long run. So you need to know the why. It is especially important, again, when you get a team. Because if you don't want them just checking off stuff and it's done, but it's not going to do anything that you needed to do, they need to know the why behind it. It's also no different than when you're talking to a child, right? You don't just tell them no. If you want them to know in the future, no, and don't want them to do that when you're not around, you have to explain to them the why, not just the no. Because guess what? They want it. So in their mind, it's a yes. So the minute you move with your no and go in the other room, your no in the other room, and they trying to do it again. But if you explain to them, this is age appropriate, of course, right? If you explain to them why you're saying no, or you redirect them to why, what is better, this is what we need in our projects. Okay. Now, if you only ever did these 10 things when you have a project and you're executing, I'm going to tell you, your success rate and your completion rate is going to skyrocket. If you didn't do nothing else but these tips, I promise you it would. Okay. So the questions of the day. Let me grab these. They are very simple. Let me put this in the studio. Let me go over here on YouTube, put it on YouTube. Oh, look at Tracy. Hey, Tracy, I'm loving your affirmations of the day, Tracy. Thank you for joining us over here on the YouTube. I see Kimberly made it in studio. All right, so the questions of the day is, or are, is there one of the strategies that we talked about today that would have saved you time, money, or headaches on a past project? So I want to know that. Then I want you to pick another strategy that you know are going to help you with future projects to make them easier for you to get to the money. All right, cool beans. I'm gonna go back to the recap, and then I'm gonna start with Heather because I think Kimberly probably used to chat if she can't come off the mic. Okay, so let me give you a recap. These are the 10 top strategies to execute projects effectively to get you to the money. Number one, always add a deadline to every task in the phase that you're working on. Okay. Number two, define energy-based work time blocks, not just when you are available in time blocks, but what is your energy for that time block? Okay. Number three, create a finished to profit checklist. All right. So before you say that the project is over, don't just see if all tasks are checked off. See if we're getting the result that contributes to our money, that contributes to some type of retention, that contributes to some type of visibility. Like, what was the goal of the project, the phase, the whatever, okay? Number four, install a project feedback loop. While the project is going, okay, we need to be capturing feedback. If it's just us, we need to be capturing how we feel about stuff. Did this tech work the way we thought it was going to work? Did something hold us up unexpectedly? Did we not like this? Did you find something unnecessary? Okay, so even if it's just you still need a feedback loop. If there are clients in there, we want their feedback. If there are team members in there, we want their feedback. Okay. Number five, use priority phasing instead of just checklists. Okay. All priorities don't have, all tasks don't have dependencies on each other. So it's sometimes hard to tell which one should come first. Don't just arbitrarily start completing them. Take the time to prioritize your list. Okay. Number six, enforce communication boundaries as policy. We already talked about that. Make it very clear what response times are, what revision limits are, what channels to use for communication, how to escalate communication, all of these things. Number seven, implement automated accountability. See, accountability is what keeps that project going to execution. If nobody is held accountable, even if it's just you holding yourself accountable, this is when it becomes okay for you to not do things, to take a little longer, to start something else and not finish this. We need accountability, and we need to automate as much of that as possible. That can look like reminders, approvals, updates, that type of thing. Number eight, limit daily open loops. Okay. This may be even just a matter of you understanding that you might have a list of 3 things on your list to get done, but unless you're working on a project all day long, you're probably not even gonna get 3 things done. You'll probably get 1 thing done, 2 things done in the matter of during your work day when you have other things to do, right? So don't hop around with your tasks though. Get one task completed, then go to the next task, or then stop working on that project and go somewhere else. Do not leave open tasks, okay? Unless you hit a roadblock, you need somebody else, you need something else, whatever, keep going until it is completed. Number 9, use visual progress markers to maintain momentum. So figure out how you're going to make your progress visible, okay? It could just be you in your so because some of y'all don't use project management systems, some of y'all like a Google Doc, right? And that's fine, but you can make it visual on the Google Doc. If all you did was visually have the things that you've done marked as yellow, right, as like using yellow as completed and green as the ones you still have to go and do, that yellow block getting bigger and bigger is still a visual progress tracker. Okay, so do something so that you can see visually how far you've come and how far you got to go. Number 10, define your why behind each task and each phase. We've already done it as why are we doing the project. Now, while we're in the project, we need to do it for each of the pieces of the project. All right, let's go to Heather. Wait, let's give Kimberly a moment. See if she's going to come off the mic. I don't think so. So, Kimberly, you can use the chat if you can. Let's go to Heather. Heather, is there one of the strategies that would have saved you time, money, or headaches in a past project? And which one of the ones, a different one than that one, do you feel will actually help you with projects in the future to get you to the money?
Okay, so I feel like most of this list is something that you and I went over in Mexico 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Mm.
Jesus, time flies, and not always in the good way. Um, because man, would I like to go back to those days. Anywho, I feel like most of this list is something that we talked about and I implemented probably most of them. My ADHD requires a deadline because, unless my ass is up against it, nothing's getting done. Um, I also, the ID energy level time blocks, when we talked about that, I felt like 10 light bulbs went off over my head, like ding, 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 ding. And so I realized I'm more creative in the morning, more energetic in the morning. And then in the afternoon, I can do things that are like this, whatever, right? Like they don't require a huge amount of brain power. I mean, they do, but you know what I mean? They're more rote. And,
Mhm.
um, but I do definitely, I think defining the why behind the phases of a project, I had never thought about it like that until you just mentioned it. Like, you have the client journey and the touch points and the
Yes.
processes and the tech that go with that, but not necessarily the why of fulfilling the client what they pay you for. Like
Yeah,
each phase of
I
that.
think it does two things, right? Besides, helping you to have what your goal is. But I also think that it helps you to understand and get and generate more momentum and more power to get it done because you understand why it's important, right? So
Yes, 100%.
I think it's that, but I also think it allows people to, especially when you have team members, to use their skill set, their genius to say, okay, what I didn't work. What's in this SOP didn't work, but because I know why we're doing it, I have another idea on how I can get it done. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
absolutely. I think that definitely opens it up for a little bit more innovation
It does.
also, so that you're not just doing it because that's the way I've always done it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool beans. I like that, Heather. Thank you. Look at you. Came back in here and helped us right on out. Appreciate you. Great value adds. All right. Going back to Kimberly. Kimberly said number one. So let's see what number one is. And I don't know which question she answered, but number one, always add a deadline to every task. That's probably her answer to both of them, even though she wasn't supposed to add the same answer. But yeah, we get it, Kimberly. All right, let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, is there one of these strategies that would have saved you time, money, or headaches on a past project? And give me a totally different strategy that's going to help you in the future with your projects to help you to get to the money more easily.
Good morning. So I chose the priority phasing of task list for the one that um I probably wasn't doing the most of out of the whole thing that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Um I I write stuff down, I put stuff on the board. I don't give it a priority though. I don't think as much as I should.
Mm-hmm.
Um I I've tried, I guess, but I know I need to do better with that. Because I was just thinking about that. Like I know you talked about this today. Um, and then the one that um I put some stars by that I want to do in the future is number 3, the finish to profit checklist.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea. Um, so
All right. Cool beans. Love that for you, Dr. LaFera. Let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, which one of these strategies would have saved you time, money, and headaches in a past project? And give me another strategy that in the future will help you to get your projects done more easily and get you to the money.
What would have saved me, I think, would have been install a project feedback loop. Um, Especially if you're a solopreneur, we tell ourselves what we want to hear. and,
Yeah.
and the feedback loop will tell you what it is. Um, Moving forward though, is trying to find what one to circle. Oh, implement automated accountability.
Got
You
it.
know, so I don't even have to worry about it. Just do it. But I will tell you one thing that has really helped me also, and that is using the visual progress trackers to maintain momentum. I
Mhm.
use my stickers, my happy planner stickers and stuff like that, that get it, girl, you did this and all that good stuff. And, when I looked at stickers and I thought that's just a waste of time. And I remember one day, um, I just put a sticker on there, and a few days later, I looked back at it and I was like, yeah, I did accomplish something. I think we forget to, give ourselves the credit for accomplishing things as opposed to, well, it's just my job. And so when I work with my clients now, every milestone, they reward themselves. And it's amazing how many people, no, I don't need that. I don't this, that, and the other. But when they start to reward themselves, and of course, keeping it, in relation to what they've done, don't go buy a Bentley because, you scheduled your appointments. But it has changed their attitude a great deal. And it makes it exciting. That's it.
Okay. Love that. Thank you, Cheryl. Let's go to Dr. Latoya Davis. Is there one of the strategies that would have saved you time, money, or headaches on a past project? And then give me another one of the strategies that you feel will, in the future, help you get to your projects more easily and get to that money.
Definitely the finished project checklist. Like there have been many times where, the VA would say, I'm ready or we're done. And I'm like, yes. And then we get into it and I'm like, oh, but wait, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. Right. It wasn't her fault. It was just poor communication. So the checklist would be amazing. And it forces me to think through like all of the steps too. Right. So that part. And then what I need is actually two. You said one, but actually two. The timeline. I mean, adding a deadline, and dang, I forgot the other one. It was good though. I need it.
It was good.
Good.
I don't remember, but take my word for it. It was good.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Well, if you think about it, you can put it in the chat. No problem.
Okay.
Because that was extra credit anyway. It was a bonus. So we appreciate you. All right, let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, is it one of these strategies that would have saved you time, money, or headaches on a past project? And which strategy, a different one than the first, will you use in the future to help you to complete your projects more easily and get to that money?
Yes. Well, first of all, Cheryl, I'm going to take back my Bentley for making my appointments. So sorry. Anyway, also, I think that number one, adding a deadline to every task would have saved Wahala in the past.
Not Wahala.
Yes, Wahala. And then I like a few of these, but I think I'll just say them both: limiting daily open loops and then using a visual progress tracker. I like that a lot, especially when Cheryl's talking about the sticker thing. Even if it's not a sticker, just something fun that's a visual. Oh, I accomplished that. I like that.
I like it too. Okay, cool. Okay, that was great. That was great. And Dr. Latoya remembered her extra one that was closing the loop. Also, she said she definitely needs to do that. Yeah, I get it. Let's go to Shawana Kennedy. Kennedy Media. Is there one of the strategies that would have saved you time, money, or headaches on a past project? And which strategy, a different one, do you feel will in the future help you get through your projects and get to that money?
Most certainly, yes, 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 and yes for those who didn't hear the first yes. Also, what actually did jump off right as soon as you said it was the checklist. Is not that you don't think about the profit of whatever it is that we're creating, but to truly write down all of the things. I know that is something that I have not done. And yeah, so that jumped right off for me. Also, I even looked at the boundaries. I'm working on some automation as well as the feedback loop, even if it's within myself. And part of that is about that checklist, because I'm seeing the checklist, and then beside the checklist, if there's space, you can put some things in regards to feedback, even on that checklist. That's where my brain go. Something else I had on here. Oh, one of the things that I've done and I do, which is good, however, I need to do it sooner, is with us being in November, we know that we only have a few weeks left to go. I do what is like a year in review. So if because I'm not a checklister, I then say, okay, Lord, this is the end of another calendar year where you basically look back for moments of reflection and gratitude, where I then create this list, which I should be doing along the way sooner than later and having a year in review. But these checklists will even make that list something for me even to be more grateful about, if that makes sense.
It does. It makes plenty of sense. All right. Cool. Check the chat because Dr. Tachi has renamed you and it's hilarious. All right. So Tracy's over here listening. She says this is great information. She didn't quite answer any of the questions, so we're gonna move on. I want to know. We're talking about projects for business owners, especially solopreneurs, right? And we're erasing all of that expectation that comes with, you know, the high and mighty certified project managers and the scrum masters and the agile project leaders and all of them. And we're just breaking it down to the simple things we need to know as entrepreneurs, especially solopreneurs, to get our projects done. Okay. So the first thing that we learned this week was what does the phases of a project look like? I gave you the general ones, especially for service-based business. I reminded you, you as a service-based entrepreneur are more equipped to deal with running projects as a phase than, let's say, product based businesses, okay? Because you're used to giving a service that also comes in phases. So you're used to working in phases and completions and milestones. So transfer that genius over to projects, okay? Then we talked about project management systems, that tech platform that's going to help you to create that hub, that's going to have you organized where everything that touches that project lives in one place. And when I say one place, I mean, even if you have other platforms, other places that things are, you can come to the hub and still get a link that will take you out to wherever those things are. There's one place where everything is kept, and that is going to be your PMS, your project management system. Okay. And then we built on that. Now we know what our phases are. Now we built in our platform. Okay. Now we're talking about actually being knee deep in the weeds of executing this project and what's going to help you get it to completion. Okay. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about doing projects better and faster. So you see, we built on each one. But so far, does anybody, when it comes to projects that you need to start, create, organize, and execute in your business for your business growth and your revenue growth, does anybody have any questions, any value adds, or any aha moments? Now is the time. You can ask anything about a project, even if I haven't talked about it. Y'all know I love when you come up with questions that's not necessarily touched upon in the information that I give you, because y'all know I be trying to streamline it so you can take it in, even though I still kind of fire hose you in the face. But I think you need this information. That's why you have the show notes so that you can always go back on it, even if it's a lot to process today. Dr. LaFera.
Hello. Can you talk more about the like the automation stuff that Cheryl was talking about, and then give some more examples of like the visual like the progress tracker things, like where do you like to find that art, or where do you create that?
Okay. Tell me what Cheryl said about automation that made you have a question.
How come? Well, let's see. Because I was like, which number was that?
So I did say that number 7 was implement automated accountability, and I know that she
okay,
did
maybe that's it.
Okay. So some examples were that were automated triggers for reminders, for approvals, for updates, and things like that, without you having to manually be reminded or prompted, right? So even though you may have to manually do it, you are automatically prompted to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool. So that was your first. And then your second was about the visual progress markers. So if you're using a project management system, there are these Gantt charts, right? And they kind of show you
Uh-huh.
based on all of the tasks, like where you are with them, right? There can also be within your project management system, based on the deadlines that you have put on every task, there's a calendar that's showing you
Yeah.
different stuff, right?
Yeah, I see
Um,
those in Asana when I use it, but like I hadn't seen
exactly.
a Gantt chart like what you're
However,
saying.
however, you can create something that is just basically, it could be a bar, or a line chart or something that you create visually. You could create it in Canva. I don't care where you create it, right? So it doesn't have to be something that's automated and something that's already out there. It could be at the top of your page, right? You got a arrow
Oh,
that you're
yeah.
filling in with color that's showing the progress of the report. Okay.
Yeah, so if you get
Or
here, you're
yeah, just so that you can just
halfway
see
done.
it at a
If you get
glance. It has to be
okay,
something that you can recognize at a glance where you are. Are you
okay.
progressing? Right? I also gave you the example of, if you just not creative like that, then you can use color coding on your Google Doc. Okay.
Okay.
So you can
Mhm.
have, as you know, you should have your list. It should be in priority order. And as you are completing them, you know, that color is coming on down and filling in more. And it's more of that color that is the color of completion, any color of your choice. I just picked yellow because I knew I wanted to use green for the things you still had to go and do. But you can use green for done, and then you can use yellow for not done. Whatever you want to do, but some kind of visual trigger that at a glance you know where you are with your project. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Cool beans. And there may be some trackers, and I have already made a note that for the project execution training I'm going to do for the paid membership, that I am going to create some type of tracker that you can use for a phase of a project. I'm not going to create one that's for a whole project, just a phase. And so therefore you can see where you are in that phase. And so yeah, but you guys can do things like go and play in Canva code and see what you can create. Go and see if you just Google project tracker, task management tracker, see what's out there. It might be something free and easy that you can easily incorporate. All right. Anybody else? Any questions, any value adds, any aha moments about this project execution thing? Cheryl.
Yes, did the boot camp link go up yet?
Is coming today in the
Oh,
announcement.
okay. I just want to be sure I didn't miss it.
You did not. Let me go
Okay,
ahead and
thank you.
put it in the chat, because y'all and see, everybody in here is in the paid membership. So I put that in the chat, but I'll get to that part in a minute. So
Dr. Tati, what happened to your eyeball? It's a little different today.
all right. So any more questions about projects? Any value adds? Anything you learned that's going to be a huge game changer for you? Because do you see how running projects efficiently and effectively is going to move your business forward, which is also going to move the needle on your revenue?
Yes.
All righty. Thank you, Dr. Kachi. All right, let's go to the announcements. All right. Okay, so Friday, 2 days from now, is our Get Shit Done work session. It's going to be from 1 p.m. Eastern Time to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That is usually reserved only for the paid membership, but we allow the free group to come in a couple of times a month to come on the second half of that session. So that's happening on Friday. We got some save the dates for next week. And that is November the 12th and 13th. So we are not broadcasting live on Monday and Tuesday. I am going to be off for the Veterans Day holiday and for my sanity. But we come back in for Wednesday and Thursday, and we're going to do live coaching on those days. We call it the One Thing Live Coaching, because we're going to coach everybody on the one thing they feel is keeping them from their first six figures or their next six figures. Okay. Then on the 13th, at the end of that live coaching day, we're going to say a farewell to the morning show. All right. On the 15th, let's catch up with where Cheryl was. Okay. On the 15th, that is the winter boot camp intensive. This year, I'm sorry, not this boot camp is about planning 2026, and I've called it your big fat money year planning. you can go to shaycannon.com/winter to sign up. There are various coupon codes out there for you. If you are in the paid membership, I will be I actually think that your code has already released inside your Slack channel. But also, if you're on the morning show right now in studio, you have that coupon code. But if you are in the free group, I am going to do a post today to give you your coupon code, because there are some things, some bonuses, just like last time, that are going to disappear if you don't hurry up and join, right? We reward fast action. So a week from today, the super bonus goes away. Okay, 7 days, a week from today. All right. The day after that, so a week from today is next Wednesday. All right. Then the day after that, what's going to go away are all the regular bonuses. All right. And then that Friday before the Saturday of the intensive, all of the coupon codes will expire. Okay. So if you know you need this year planning, which basically what I'm going to do, y'all can read these details later, but I'm going to give you an annual plan that's an overview of 2026. I'm going to give you a quarterly plan that is the overall repeatable structure for 2026. I'm going to give you a monthly frameworks as the themed plan for alignment in 2026. Then we're going to do weekly execution that moves the needle for growth for 2026. Then we're going to go all the way down to the daily flow of your life routine and focus time blocks for success in 2026. Okay, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. All right. So if you know you need this type of structure for your plan for the year, because you know you've been out here randomly piecemealing stuff, and then you look up at the end of the year and your business ain't did nada, okay, then you know you need to come in on this workshop, shaycannon.com/winter. Again, super bonuses a week from today. I gave you a whole week, okay? Then the regular bonuses leave on next Thursday, and then all discounts will be no longer working and expire on next Friday. Okay. Heather said registered. All right, Heather, get to it then, boo. But yes, the way I'm breaking it down this year is going to be different than I ever have any year before. Right. So this business planning thing started way back on Clubhouse, and I can't even remember what year that was. I know Dr. Tachi was there. Cheryl was there. I know that Shawana was there. And I just don't remember how long ago it was. But remember, we used to build our plan on 5 questions. Right? I made it easy. Like, we build our plan on 5 questions. Then last year, I rotated those 5 questions into 5 different areas of your business that we're going to focus on to kind of jumpstart and think about and plan out for the year. So as one of the regular bonuses, you're going to get access to last year's training, which was very different than this year's training, but it's great information. Okay. But this year, I am taking it to the hilt. We are going down to the day. Okay. Now, the funny thing is, the way that I teach our paid membership to do their schedules comes into play a little bit, but we are going vastly beyond that. Okay. So yes, we're going to incorporate the default week. We're going to incorporate, daily routines, but we're going to go past that. I want our planning to have a lot to do with your business, but also a lot to do with your freedom and your lifestyle. And that's what we are going to do. Heather said, oh shit, nice. What day does this happen? Because I just went to register and we'll worry about the date later. So the date is November the 15th is the actual intensive. But because I'm giving you so much to do, if you join in time to get the super bonus extra super session is not going to be until Sunday, December the 7th. Okay, I'm giving you time. So no more of that, dang, we just went through all of that yesterday. I haven't done anything more. I'm just here to make sure I hear any more additional value. I don't want that. I want you to actually do stuff so that when I come back and meet with you again, you actually have questions about obstacles that you've run into. Okay. This is why I'm going ahead and having it in November instead of December. Okay. So you're going to get everything you need to plan in November. And then at the top of December, I want you to, in between that time, have done something toward planning so that you know what obstacle you have, so we can discuss your obstacles and bust right through them, because I do want you to have your big fat money year. Okay. I want you to have the best year in your business yet. I'm giving you the tools, but if you don't work them, I don't know what to tell you. The morning show is going away the way in this format. So you need to take the time that I'm giving you between November 15th and December 7th. That's a long time. I'm even letting you eat turkey and everything. Okay. Take your time and get some stuff done so that when we meet again on December 7th, we make sure that you are good to go. All right. Those that just did our fall intensive that was in the winter for the I owe you some email templates for phase 3, and I owe you your project plans. And so that's what I'm going to work on this week. And then I will send you an email and let you know it is in your vault. All right. Cool beans. I'm going to say last call for alcohol. Any questions? Any questions about projects? Any questions about the workshop to come? What did you say about turkey? I said, I'm giving you time to even eat turkey before you have to finish executing on what you're going to learn from this coming winter intensive before we meet again for the super session. So the intensive is on November 15th. The super session that follows it is going to be December 7th. In between there is Thanksgiving holidays. So I'm letting you take time off before we come back together. But I expect you to have some time in there, done something on your business to plan for 2026. Cool beans. She said, oh, Dr. LaFerre don't be wanting to miss nothing, and I ain't mad at her. All right. The last announcement is the full November calendars were released either today or tomorrow for the free group and the paid membership. I have yet to give all dates for the full month of November, and I will do that today or tomorrow. All right, guys. This has been the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first 6 figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. If you want to know more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, plus get links to resources like the free business mastermind group and how to join it, how to get the show notes with the strategies in it from today's show and recent past shows, go in the description below. If you have not already, I want you to give us a thumbs up and like this episode. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, because even though the live morning show is coming to a close, there's going to be more value on this channel for your business growth, and you do not want to miss it, okay? Today's episode was just one video out of a 4-part series, so make sure you check out the other videos. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day.